Too many of you are ignoring signs and messages that are needed for your growth. You're overlooking things and simplifying things that really need your attention, so that way you can learn what's needed for you to grow and excel in the way that is uniquely designed for you. The way that I opened this video for some of you may have been a message. It may have been a confirmation of something that you've been hearing or thinking, and it's like, bam, you scroll and it's like, oh shoot, really? Like, this is here, this is what we're talking about, because I've been getting this message or been thinking about this for X amount of weeks. Or last year sometime something similar happened and now it's back. These are signs and symbols for you, unique to you, that want your attention. Because when you start to get curious and wonder, well, what does this mean for me? And you go inward and seek the answers, that's a part of you that you're unlocking. And the more that you start to unlock parts of you, the more that you are elevating. Sometimes these elevations are real subtle and it feels like it's insignificant until it connects with another point in your life where you excel. And other times it hits you like a ton of bricks and the impact is rapid. But you're going to miss it if you're not open to it. And I'm going to give you an example later on, but I want to try to get the major part of my message out, because I know some people are not going to listen to this whole thing, right? So here we go. If you are talking to some people, right, you're in conversation and something that someone said stuck out for you, right? It could even be something totally off topic. You could be talking about basketball and just the description of how they're describing the play makes you think about something from your childhood or something in relation to a conflict that you're having. Those are messages for you. You could be walking in the street and step on gum one day and it meant nothing. You can walk on in the street and then step in gum the next day and that hits you different. And you start to get curious and you're like, why is this hitting me in this way? See, that's the part that we miss. Sometimes we have those moments where it's like, ooh, When you have those moments, inquire within. It may be uncomfortable for you to do. It may be something that you're not used to trying and you don't know what your own internal voice really sounds like. Get to practicing, baby. Practice makes progress. Ask yourself, what does this mean? And to my Christians out there, when you are going inward and you're asking, you're tapping into the Holy Spirit that lives within you and you're saying, Holy Spirit, what message are you trying to give to me? So go inward. Whatever your belief is though, tap into you and get curious. Now, this is where the video is going to get a little bit longer because I'm going to share with you a personal story of a recent thing that I discovered in terms of my own growth. So if you guys have been following my content for any length of time, you might have come across my video where I talk about It's in the Middle. If you haven't seen it, it's on TikTok and it's on YouTube. The whole video is on YouTube and a short version is on TikTok, I think. And a little quick thing on it is It's in the Middle was my personal discovery to how God's love for me was already told to me from birth. It was my middle name. My middle name is Ann and it's God's favor. And for 36 years of my life, I'm only 40, so I'm only living in this blessed, beautiful life right now for the last 4 years. But for 36 years of my life, I struggled hard with insecurities real deep. Now, on the outside, I looked like I was doing a damn thing, right? And I was able to support people and I have this loving nature about me. But the way that I felt about myself was a 180 from what people saw on the outside. And so that message of it being in the middle, God's favor on me, was big. Now, my first name is Denise. And I never really was too thrilled about my first name. Like, it's cool. But in terms of meaning and symbolism, I always just thought, okay, well, I looked it up. I knew what Denise meant. It was a Greek derivative of Dionysus or Dionysus. I'm saying it wrong probably. Don't ding me. Dionysus is like the wine god. or the goddess of wine, the god of wine is Dennis, the goddess of wine is Denise. So Dionysus is the Greek version of that. And so my name is a Greek derivative. And I'm just like, okay, this is like drunkardness. Like there's no big thing to this to be excited about, like wine, drinking. That's what I was thinking. Okay. And when I say I held that thought about my first name, I held that thought about my first name all the way up until 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I hear, oh no, I'm sorry, correction, up until yesterday. So I am returning home from this whole women's conference in Dallas, and I'm at the airport. That conference was bomb, by the way. Let me get back to what I was talking about. But that conference was bomb. So back to what I was talking about. So I am at the airport, and I was looking at this image painted on the wall in front of me. And I was like, is that a grape or is that an olive? It just kind of stuck out. It was interesting. Follow the chain very carefully, right? If you're interested in this video, I know it may feel a little bit long, and our attention span nowadays is to the trash. And that also is going to be a major block for you going deep. If you do not have the attention span to really go deep, you're going to miss a lot. So use this video as practice for you, okay? So I see the image. I don't know exactly what it is, because even with glasses, if something's really, really far away, I'm kind of like, eh. So a grape, olive, didn't know what it was. But it stuck out. Remember, things that stick out. From there, I keep hearing the number 8. Weird. But then it dawned on me now, because this was so random, like I go from an olive or grape to the number 8. And then I'm like, well, maybe grape 8, because it rhymes. And I almost chucked the thought and left it. But 8 kept coming up. And then I turned to the right and I see the number 8. I'm like, all right, fine, I'm gonna get curious. What's up? Why am I thinking this? This is my internal talk now. What's so significant about it? And then I remember that the day before, this would now be Saturday, that on Saturday, I was hearing the closing conference speech by Pastor Tim Ross, and he was talking about the number 7 being the number of completion. And my immediate thought was, well, if 7 is completion, then what is number 8? And then fast forward to Sunday, I'm hearing the number 8, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna look it up. So I Googled biblical meaning of the number 8. And the first thing that pops up in that little paragraph section when you Google certain meanings was about festivities and partying and celebration. And I saw the word Dionysus. And I'm like, stop it. Because remember, I just told you guys, Dionysus is the Greek version of my name. How is it that I'm thinking about the number 8? And I look at the clock now and I'm 8 minutes in. But anyway, I look at the number 8 and connected to it when I Google search it. What I see is my name in the Greek. Okay. What that leads me to is Greek, grapes, celebration. Grapes are also like a staple in a lot of Greek foods. And so when you see like tables and things and like images and you see grapes, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I then go deeper into this thinking of grapes. And I realize that the day before, again, that being Saturday, I heard a message where a woman was talking about how the grapevine is one of the most inconspicuous vines there is. The leaves are like this pale green. Like, I don't think I know what a grapevine looks like. I didn't look it up, but I remember her sharing that. Like the leaves are like this pale, unassuming green, and the vine is nothing really special to look at. But then the grape grows from that. And so something so amazing grows from something so inconspicuous. That hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm on the line waiting to board the plane, and I am just overwhelmed with the revelation that I'm getting about me. So to take it further, right, because I follow my thoughts. My mind is always like, when something hits, I'm like, well, what does this mean for me? I always say for me, unless I'm in coaching sessions and I'm trying to figure out what it means for the person who I'm working with, right? But this was personal. So it's like, what does it mean for me? And then I realized that for 36 years, I felt inconspicuous. I felt unseen. I felt overlooked. For 36 years. My name, the goddess of wine. Wine is brought to celebrations. Wine is a signifier of happiness and festivities. And I was given, and I'm getting emotional as I'm talking about this, like I'm feeling in my body a sense of like this just, My name is a reflection of happiness, joy, and celebration. And this whole time, I thought I was unassuming, inconspicuous, something that represented drunkardness. And in reality, the name that I was given was celebrate because God's favor is on you. That's how I took it. And the beauty about the messages being unique to us, it's what you get when you go through your own processing and you come out with this understanding. And I just felt so good because I'm like, God told me the story of who I was before I knew who I was. I was in the period of feeling inconspicuous for 36 years. And at some point, I started to elevate. And now I see that from birth, it was on purpose. I am one who can celebrate. I bring celebration. I'm in a state of celebration. I am to be celebrated because God's favor is on me. And I feel amazing about that. And if I wanted to take it further, I could connect it to a ton of other things now because I have that lesson. But I needed to get here to then see how that reigns true in my life in so many different ways. And the comments that people would say about me before I knew me, how they would talk about, yes, we want you at the party, we want you here, we want you there. Oh my gosh, you make me feel so good. You see me, people, when I hear people talk about how my reflections and my comments to them help them to feel seen. I used to think that that was a curse in that I can do so much for others, but I still feel like crap on the inside. And here, the whole time, I have it to give because I am it. That's my story. And I share my story with you because I want you to understand what the tracing process is like. It's not always smooth and easy. It doesn't always come right away. But ask yourself, what does it mean for me? To my fellow Christians out there, ask the Holy Spirit to speak to you and show you why this particular thing stuck out in the way it did. I'm not saying that everything around you is a sign for you, but you'll know those things that kind of stand out, that catch your eye, or that make you say, huh? Or that, well, repeat that again, that make you wonder, did I hear what I just heard? Those moments, go inward to learn more about who you are. And I just want to appreciate you for staying here and watching the whole 14 plus minutes. I want to appreciate you for the journey that you are going to go on as you dig deeper to inquire within and learn more about you. And I want to celebrate you for not missing any more moments of learning what is out there for you. I want to add this last example to try to drive this point home even further because I feel like I can't close it out without it. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching a TikTok video. I think my homegirl sent it to me, but I can't remember. And it was a teacher talking about the exercises she does with her students on the first day of class. And she said she makes a pendulum, and she takes a spoke and she ties it to a string, and she tells them, hold it and think left, right. And it swings left, right. And then she tells them, now think front, back. And it swings front, back. Like, you have to hold it out so it'll swing. And it swings front, back. And then she tells them, think stop. And they think stop, and it stops. When I first saw that a few weeks ago, I'm like, even with all my growth, even with me believing in God in the way that I do and understand that science and energy works in the way that it does, I still was like, yeah, no. So I didn't pay it no mind. I didn't even try it. 2 days ago, I have my conference pass, right? I said I was at the Amazing Whole Woman Co. Shout out to Juliet Ross. And so I had my pass, and I was holding it up because I was getting ready to wrap it up and put it in my bag. But in that moment, my memory took me back to this inconspicuous video that I had watched, right? It was like, I dismissed the video. But all of a sudden, this comes back into my memory, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, okay. And I start to think left, right. And it's a subtle move left to right. Skeptic in me is still like, nah, because our body is constantly moving like the atoms and this and that, blah, blah. No, this is moving that way. So I think front, back. It moves front to back. Now I'm like, what? The true test, I said to myself, the true test is going to be when I say stop. And I thought, stop. It stopped. That was the stamp for me that indicated that what is for you is being attracted to you, and where your mind goes is what you're going to get. So if you get more curious about who you are and what's on the inside of you, the symbols and signs and messages that you are going to get are going to paint a bigger picture for you. Pay attention to the conversations that you're having with people, the things that stand out to you. Pay attention to those moments in your day where you're like, oh, what did that mean? Inquire within. Don't miss an opportunity. And on that note, we are 17 minutes in. I just want to thank you again. If you are curious in learning more about how to work with me, there is a link tree that is in the description that tells you. If you are watching this on TikTok, I might upload it there. If you are, the link tree is in my bio. Do not miss an opportunity to grow in whatever way you're being called. And if it's being called to work with me, then set up your complimentary consultation, and let's talk about if we are a match for one another, because I do believe that not all clients are for me, because I really value personal growth and I do not want to do a disservice to anybody. So if you think that I would be a match, set up a consultation. Let's get these words in, let's get this conversation in, and then book your package. Okay? In the meantime though, never stop growing. Bye.